We're working on getting up to about 100 people on this call. But I'd like you to imagine that there's only two people on the call, you and me. And I'm going to address you the way I would address a client privately with some of the issues that are important to them. But one of the things is about noticing distractions. And I said to him, what's it like when you perform at your best? He said, when I perform at my best, I don't hear any crowds. The puck is the size of a dinner plate, and the game moves very, very slowly. When any one of those three things change, I know that I need to get back in and focus and concentrate. So I said, how do you get your concentration back? He said, well, I guess I kind of hope that it comes back. Well, we all know that hope is not a strategy. And I'll say, well, you don't have to concentrate for the whole round of golf. If you shoot 100, you have to concentrate probably around 5 minutes for a whole round. If you shoot an 80, now you're down to about 4 minutes. So where does that play out? Your conscious mind, I want to point this out to you in the beginning, your conscious mind is what you use every day. Look, listen, learn, analyze, synthesize, accept, reject. Your subconscious mind is different, however. It allows you to do a couple of things. It allows you to recall things that happened in the past. It allows you to focus on the future. And it must act out every thought, image, or idea that you put into it. And it will do that relentlessly. So part of what my business is to help people get out of their way when they're dealing with their subconscious mind. Identifying and controlling self-talk. People really need to notice what they hear themselves saying to themselves when they overhear themselves talking to themselves. So why is that? Because it's contamination. It's negative self-talk plays and plays and plays and plays. And people wonder, how long do I have to listen to this stuff? Well, there's a very simple way to stop negative self-talk. You can try it right now. Just push your tongue up onto the roof of your mouth. And when your tongue is on the roof of your mouth, you can't think of anything else. And we worked a lot on distractions, avoiding distractions and concentration, and these small tricks to be able to block out anything. So one of the questions I would ask you is, what do you bring onto the golf course that really doesn't belong there? And how often does that distract you from your game? And so what we do is we look at negative self-talk, and we did it week by week. We take the football schedule, we go down a whole list of teams that he was going to play, and then we find, I'll give you the name of a team, and you could just tell me the first word that comes to your mind when that happens, when you think about it. Sometimes you hear it, and sometimes you don't hear the self-talk. I had a guy who came into me, and we were working on business negotiations, a business developer, a real estate developer in the city. And in the course of the conversation, he said to me, he said, I'm a 12 handicap golfer, and I can't play well 50 yards in. He said, I have no idea, but not all the time. And I can never figure out when or what to do with it. What we discovered was that the only time he can't play 50 yards in is when he's playing against somebody who makes more money than he does. So he makes high 7 figures. So now you have to say to yourself, does that impact whatever is going on, whatever that dynamic is, does that impact on his negotiation performance? And it may well, but we worked on that. We talked about that. Another example is I was in Geneva for Hewlett Packard, and the guy I was working with is going to be coaching for the next 6 months, said to me, he said, somebody told me that you work with golfers. And I said, I do. He said, well, you have, he said, I'm in a golf tournament with 2 guys in my club who are both scratch golfers. And he said, I have a 3 handicap. And he said, I'm really concerned I'm going to be embarrassed. I can't imagine coming in on the 18th hole of the last day and and having been beaten badly. So he said, so what can you do? And I was leaving the next day to come back to New York. And he said to me, I said, listen, while I'm between now and the next time we talk, I said, why don't you just listen to the way you talk to yourself about this and write it down. Tell me about it when we talk. He said, oh, he says, that's ridiculous. He says, that has nothing to do with my game. So when I called him the following week, he said to me, he said, I had a very interesting situation happen. He said, I was, right after we got back from Geneva, he said, I was on the way to a major multi-million-dollar business negotiation with a vendor. And I realized that on the way that I was saying the same thing to myself about that negotiation that was happening in the middle of the situation, of the performance. So I had to really come back and start to talk about, look at how much of the way what I say to myself when I hear my negative self-talk, how much does that impact imply on my business strategies? So to ask anybody who's teed a ball up over a water hole and said, I don't want to hit the ball in the water. Where does it go? It goes in the water. First time the Giants played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, the Patriots had won 18 straight games. And somebody said to me, Dan, what do you think is going to happen? I said, I believe that the Patriots are going to find a way to lose. And they said, how can you say that? They just won 18 straight games. So I said, well, my belief is that they're coming into this game saying they don't want to lose. And that was validated by Belichick when he was talking about the internal conversations they had with the team.